Once we've done the hand change behind the back and then the syncopated turn-off of lariats, which is a fun addition to a normal pattern, we're going to go into the next pattern, which is going to be a whip tunnel. After we've done the 1 and 2 and 3, 5, and I've ended pass just like normal, I'm now going to go under the hand, except I'm not going to take my right hand over the head. I'm going to take only my left hand, keeping my right hand at my waist. 1, 2. Now I'm going to still do a lariat footwork, as is the lady. 3, 5, except for the fact that my right hand is behind my back. Now at this point in time, on the next one, the lady's going to bring her feet together and bend at the knees, keeping her back straight, like she was sitting on a chair. The man is going to give the lady a window to look through with his arm, take the left elbow over the lady's head, keep his elbows up as the lady ducks, and we're going to have the lady ducking underneath the man's arm on the basic count. Go. 1, 2, 3, 5. And the man is extending as the lady stays on the spot. That pattern again a little bit quicker. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3. Now you will notice that I keep my elbows up very high, and that's very important for the lady to be able to get under. As I keep my elbows up, I avoid her hair or knocking her in the head. It's also very important for the lady to understand the man is only so tall. Of course, the taller the man is, the easier it'll be, but he can only hold his elbows up a little bit short of his shoulder level. So lady has to, as she goes into the pattern, 1, 2, 3, realize her duck has got to be at least below his armpit level. If it's not, it's going to be major concern. 1, 2, 3, and the higher she is, the more likely it is that I'll catch her hair. And I step out 3, 5, and the lady is more than welcome to continue her basic footwork that entire time, 1, 2, 3, 5, although she's not traveling. The one suggestion about the lady's footwork on this, actually two options. The suggestion that we're making is for the lady to keep her basic footwork in her mind, even though she's rotating on both feet as she goes through. 1, 2, 3, 5. Now, even though she's rotating on both feet, she's going to keep basic footwork in her mind so she knows what footwork to come out with. 1, 2, 3. Now, it's very important that if the lady has her footwork and if the lady's not keeping her footwork and is bringing her feet together like we're suggesting, that the connection becomes much heavier. The man is requiring the lady to connect up with him, and he's going to have to give her weight around. So you're going to notice that on the back end, I'm going to have to give the lady, after this part, I'm going to have to lead almost like her feet are together, and I'm going to have to give her connection the entire time because she's just turning with her feet together. So the connection is much heavier than it would be normally. Now, the other suggestion is that the lady could actually step her footwork. But what happens then is the lady has a tendency to not be able to stay on the spot as well, and also has a tendency to move around and lose balance.
You can also, if as you step your footwork, you do not keep the balls of your feet very close together, you'll end up getting your feet crossed up. So you want to keep, if you're going to step, or if you're going to turn on both feet, you want to make sure that the balls of the feet are together, just touching. The heels are off the floor. You don't want to try to make this turn with your heels on the floor. Balls of the feet, heels off, and then turn, whether you step or you turn on both feet.
Some of the major concerns that can make this pattern not work is the lady's heels not staying off the ground. As soon as the lady's heels touch the ground in this pattern, her balance will go completely AWOL and she'll fall over and pull the man with. The other thing that can happen is the lady traveling or the man knocking the lady off. It's very important that the lady's position maintains, that she stays on the spot. If she moves or if the man pushes her off balance, the partnership in the pattern will go completely falling apart. Trying it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 5, showing you that option of keeping the lady's stepping her footwork. Resa's going to exaggerate a little bit more than she normally would so you could see it. 1, 2, 3, 5. What has a tendency to happen, though, is that the woman, in order to step, any time that we encourage the lady to actually step her footwork out, she's going to have a tendency to not want to bend her knees as much because it's very awkward to try and step with her knees bent. So usually if we want the lady to bend at the knees, we encourage the position of keeping the feet together and the man has to turn her. If we were to ever want the lady to step it, it would become a much different pattern. And we'll be showing that very exciting move in some of the advanced tapes to come. 1, 2, 3, 5. Resa's putting her feet together and I'm turning her. 1, 2, 3, 5. Now, I teach that it's very important the lady have her arm low. Resa's very lucky in that my arms are very flexible, so she doesn't have to go down as much as some women might have to for their partners. We're also similar to the same height. If my arms weren't as flexible, Resa would have to go much lower. So this is a personal thing. If you have a taller partner, the lady won't have to go down as low if the man's arms are more flexible. What I do suggest, though, is base it on whatever the man's height is. If you get below his armpit, if the lady goes under, you can see at this point in time, if Resa bends her knees, that there's a certain level that she's going to avoid. And if she wants me to miss her hair, she's going to have to go lower yet. And so that's about the level that I encourage the woman to be ducking at. And that's a pretty low and very uncomfortable, and you have to have balance darn near as close as good as Resa's to be able to do that. But it is something to aim for, and it will get very nice looking in the future.
It's also a nice exercise for the thighs.
Builds the thighs, nice shapely thighs.
Ladies, remember, as Cody mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that as you bend at the knees, you do not stick the bum out and bring the upper body forward. You want to stay upright. You do not lower the chin, but you actually keep the chin up and almost look through the window that he's providing with his arms.
Noticing that the man's keeping both elbows up the entire time. And on the back end of it, as he's finishing it and the lady's got her knees bent, that he's having to rotate her, that she's not stepping. She should not be moving her feet at all. She should keep her feet together and then should rotate her back and forth. And it's that connection that finishes the pattern up. One more time and then we'll go on. What you'll notice is that as I've done this lariat footwork to get in and then we've done the whip tunnel, 1, 2, 3, and then I step back. The lady is staying on the spat, on the spot, on the count of 5, man's pass and step back to get some distance. It wouldn't be horrible if the lady was to, and the man could ask her to, step out on the count of 5. That would be fine. The only concern is that you do want to make sure that there's a minimal distance away before you start asking her to step out on the 5.
And that's a good point. Man, you need to make sure that you either ask her to come forward or you don't ask her to come forward, not somewhere in between. Make sure that you lead what it is that you intend for her to do.